Good afternoon, Ms. Paris.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank you for taking the time after school to meet with me. It's been a very busy day, and I know that you are ready to go home, and so am I. So I really appreciate your time this afternoon. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for your leadership, for your English 9. English 9 teachers, they are a great team. They willingly come together to collaboratively plan. You are often in those collaborative planning meetings. I know it's hard to times pull ourselves away from other things and devote our time to instruction, but I see that they are consistent in their rolling agendas. And I just wanted to say thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
As I was looking at those collaborative planning minutes, and like I said, they are very religious to recording, but I saw some inconsistencies. So I wanted to ask you, um, what what do you want for your English 9 collaborative planning team?
Well, as you mentioned, just mentioned, you saw some inconsistencies, and I do as well. So I wanted to reintroduce a tool that will help them remain focused and intentional and purposeful with those very precious minutes that we have to plan.
And you introduced a tool to them before. What tool is this, and when did you introduce it?
Well, it's our collaborative planning task cards that we use. That was introduced to the county some time ago. We talked about it. We, looked over it at the beginning of the year. We went over it again later on. But now I really want to be intentional with this tool, because like I said, it will help them focus.
So, what obstacles have you, or do you think that the team had in actually using the tool when it was introduced?
Um, to be honest, when I reflected, I noticed that I thought about the fact that um, I personally did not follow through like I should, because our teachers, as lovely as they are set in their ways. Their mind is hard to change. So um, they may have attempted to do it, but not with purpose. They feel that this is what has worked for them for years is what they want to use. Change is uncomfortable.
So, explain to me your methods from the introduction to the new methods that you're going to use, and how will you identify whether they are actually implementing the tool?
Okay, so like I said earlier, it was honestly just lightly introduced. I kind of left it up to my department chair to lead that battle. But as I reflected, I looked at the rolling agendas as something that I personally need to take on. So I reintroduced it,
Mm-hmm.
and not as a blame game. It's kind of a reflective piece about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks to be
Mm-hmm.
the most, and then I compared their rolling agendas, and I found that the ninth grade had the most challenge. So as I reflected again, it's something that I want to. Um, I think I want to do my PD on a smaller scale, um, whereas I'm going to actually work with them as they're using the collaborative planning task cards. Um,
You mentioned that the ninth grade team had the biggest challenge. What made their challenge bigger than any other team?
Um, well, first they listed on the agenda that the purpose is to develop a lesson plan, and then later on that agenda you see that they're developing a common assessment. Right there, you see that there's two different focuses. There are two different focuses, and that will propose a problem for them because there are different protocols to follow.
But how does that compare with the other teams? Because you said their problem was bigger than most. So,
Right. Good question. The other teams, they chose a protocol to follow, whether it was developing a lesson plan or a common assessment or looking at student work, and they followed that protocol. But my ninth grade team kind of feels like they can do it all in the very little time that they have. So my goal with them also is to do quantity. Goal is quantity better than quality better than quantity.
So would you say that the other teams seem to follow the directions of the task chart as opposed to the ninth grade team?
Yes, they do a better job of following the protocol.
Okay.
The other teams do.
The other teams do. Okay. And I wanted to ask you, how are you, I know you're going to personally work with the ninth grade chair. Explain to me how you're going to actually allow the chair to do the work, because it seems that you were allowing her to do the work before.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to, what methods are you going to use to actually move her from you doing the work to her doing the work?
Well, first we have to, she has to buy in by feeling that it's the best method to use. So we have to go through it and align it with something that, or some resources that her upcoming lessons. So we're gonna see how it works and why it's important that we follow this protocol so that she can buy into it. After we've done that, then we're actually going to take the time to plan out the lesson plan, and then I'm gonna ask her to turnkey, see if she feels comfortable turnkeying to her colleagues, and actually talk through the struggle that she has, and how it hopefully changes her mindset from the old way of planning to using the collaborative planning task cards.
So do you think it's a mindset with her, or is it buy-in? I know we have some teachers that it's a mindset issue, but some teachers is a buy-in. So which one do you think it is, or have you even had a conversation? Have you had a conversation with her to see where she is, or what her the reasons why she hasn't been following the task chart?
Yes, I've had a conversation with her. And to go back to your question, it really works hand in hand, the mindset and the buy-in, because if your mindset is that you're going to do what's comfortable because this is what you know, then it's going to be very difficult to buy into anything. And like I said earlier, change is difficult for some people. So I have to walk her through the different steps in the change so that she can see how it will benefit her as well as her students and in our department as a whole.
What would that conversation look like, that initial conversation that you would have with her to get her to buy in?
Well, the initial
Let's role play.
Let's role play. Oh, okay. Well, good afternoon, Ms. Sidbury. How are you?
Good afternoon.
I want to thank you for coming in because I think that you're doing an excellent job. However, there are a couple of things that I would like to, for my clarification, get your thoughts on. Remember we talked about the collaborative planning task cards. We talked about it early in the year
Yes,
and in the
yes.
new year. Okay. Well, how do you feel about that? Have you tried it?
No, I haven't tried it. I just think that, we were going to try, but I just don't have the time to sit down and do my agendas beforehand. So when we get there, we just start lesson planning.
Okay. And as my department chair, do you feel like that is the best practices? I want you to think about how that affects our department, because what I'm hearing you saying is that we're not properly prepared for our department.
So I hear what you're saying, but the department seems to be fine with the way we're doing things now. And I'm the only one doing anything. So it's just me. Nobody else is doing anything. So if you would like to come in and help me, I'm fine with that.
You know what? That is an awesome idea. But before I come in and help you with the department, let's let's set up a time where we can look at everything, our collaborative planning minutes, the task cards, our resources, and see how we can work towards affecting a change.
Good job, Ms. Paris, good job. So, I like that initial, conversation that you're gonna have with her, just to see, where she, where her head is about, collaborative planning and the task chart. I think that is an excellent start. So let's look at the next steps. Let's schedule those out of what you're gonna be doing with her and then our follow-up.
Okay.
So if you were looking at the calendar, the first thing you said is the conversation. And
Yes.
when do you foresee that? I know you have to check with, the teacher.
I will definitely see that happening by the 15th. That is a better planning time for her.
Okay, 15th of March.
Or February.
Oh, I'm in March, February, okay. And then what about the, after the initial conversation, you said that you would be working with her to develop her, agendas? And give me the time frame on that.
I will definitely be working with her on the 20th of February so that we can prepare for our meeting on the 21st.
Okay. And then I will review, the collaborative planning minutes on the 20th.